Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Composed Living with Elsa Elbert. I am your host, Elsa, and today's guest is Kim O'Hara. Kim is the author of the self-help book, No Longer Denying Sexual Abuse, Making the Choices That Can Change Your Life, and is currently completing her second book, Give Yourself Permission. As an essayist, she has contributed to the LA Times and other prestigious literary journals. Through her company, Kim O'Hara Books, she coaches authors from nothing on the page to creating a cohesive outline, vision, and book plan. Kim, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Oh my God, this is so great. We've done so many interesting things together in just a
I
short period
know.
of time of knowing each other. And so I love that we continue to collaborate.
Same. And when I was like, I want to relaunch the podcast, Kim would just be such an ideal guest because I think everything
Mhm.
you're doing is so interesting. Even just in that bio, there's so much in each one of these things. In your first book, in your second book, we didn't even talk about like the panels and workshops you've been hosting. So give us the rundown on Kim. What's going on in your life right now? What's your background? And then we'll just chat.
Sure. Well, thank you for that short bio because I try to give the shortest bios because no one wants to sit there and hear like every conference I've spoken at, everything I've done. And so it
Yeah.
was really tight and cohesive. And I'm just going to springboard off that to say that I have discovered, I think, as many people this year, it's been a rough year for a lot of reasons, physically, emotionally. People are moving and relocating, and just everything's just up and down in this country right now. That for me, regardless of what I say that I do, whether it's like a ghostwriter or an editor or collaborator, really the biggest thing that I'm doing this year is what is exemplified in my book that I'm finishing is your mind is not your friend. If I can spend this whole podcast talking about what I've discovered in the last 6 months that has just been this amazing light bulb, I would say that yes, I'm an author. Yes, I'm a book coach. Yes, I'm a mom. Yes, I'm all the things. But truly, I'm becoming an expert on this permission model of these 7 keys to permission and how they lead to a quiet, peaceful mind. At first, I thought it was get happiness and wealth. And then I was like, no, the happiness and wealth comes after. And that's subjective to what happiness you want or wealth you want. But for
Yeah.
me, the quiet mind is what I've been practicing. 2 months ago, my mind went quiet. It's the first time in 55 years I've had a quiet mind. You understand this because you go do 10-day vipassanas. I have no idea how you do that. I'm in a living vipassana at the moment. I'm not being quiet, like silent with people,
Yeah.
but my mind is empty. And it's leading me to do some really new things that are exciting and new.
So you mentioned the 7 steps of giving yourself permission. Is this when you started writing your second book? Do you feel like you already had that outline, or has this sort of evolved as you've been working on it?
So I've been giving myself permission without really knowing it since I wrote the sexual abuse book. That was probably the start where I finally said, I'm done hiding this. I'm done not talking about this. I'm done pretending this isn't part of my story. I need to be of service to others. I'm going to put this book on paper. And when I finally put that book on paper in like a self-help way, right? Like helping you to not just be a victim, helping you to not just be a survivor, helping you to see like all these things that happen to you are actually things you can turn around and use to benefit in your life. That was the beginning of the permission. And then slowly but surely, I like bought a house. And then I moved from that house and sold that house. And then I bought another condo. And then I fell in love. And now I've moved to my dream house on the beach in Venice Beach, which has been something, by the way, I've been telling myself I'm not privileged enough to do for 25 years that I've been in LA. I've
Really?
sat on Venice Beach. I can't tell you how many times going, God, I just wish that I could be a person that could live here. God, I like this is me and that's them. Until one day I was like, well, I just rent a beat house in the like what's the big deal? And that's when the light bulb went off in my head. It's like, oh, I've really finally given myself permission. And that's when I was able to sit down and the 7 keys just came. They just came. I
Wow.
was like, oh, that's it. That's the answer to a quiet, peaceful mind. And it makes so much sense that it's almost staggering, but it's taken 55 years for it to be coalesced into like one concept. Do you know what I mean? So when I was writing
Yeah.
the book, it wasn't coming together at all. And I went to see this woman, Robin Colucci, out of New York, who's just a brilliant book marketer. And she spent, I can't tell you how many Zooms with me, like for free. I think we just got along and she liked what I was doing. And she's like, people buy things in threes, fives, and sevens. You've got to get this down to 3, 5, or 7, and you're going to have gold. And I
That's
just
so
did it.
interesting. I
Yeah.
would love to know what the psychology is behind like only consuming odd numbers. Because even like visually when you're styling, you do that too. Like
Do
you always
you?
group things in, yeah, if you're doing like a cute vignette, you'll have like three candlesticks and they're all different heights. Or, like you never,
Right.
unless you're me and you're like, I want everything to be symmetric. But even that is like rows
Right.
of three.
Right, right. See, so there's something. And when she said that, I was like, oh. And then, of course, I had that moment where I was like, I want to be unique. I don't want to cave to the system. And I was like, Kim, just do what's going to reach people the fastest, right?
Hmm.
And so once I was able to make it in 7, then each key has like a subheaders, right? Because there's all the stuff you do underneath those subheaders. And it was really important. Like one of the other turnarounds she gave me was she was like, stop telling women what they're doing wrong, just like start telling them how to fix it. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I mean, some of it is, stop saying you're sorry and stop trying to control the outcome and stop worrying. Like, because I'm constantly like,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, that does not actually do anything. Life is going to continue to evolve and throw you stuff that you're just not going to be prepared for. You're going to get that phone call. You're going to have that shock. You're going to have joys that are going to come too that are going to be as unexpected. What about like waiting for those?
Yeah, it's such a simple statement and such a difficult practice to implement, which, this is probably
Yeah.
why we're all put on this planet to learn this
Right.
lesson the hard way.
Right. Exactly. This is the life journey. And when you get it, you spend less time adhering to it than you do with all the other stuff you are fighting. All the other stuff you are fighting consumes so much energy, so much angst, so much guilt, so much stress, so much fear. When you start to give yourself permission to just not like sign up for any of that, you're like so capable and
Yeah.
so confident, especially when you get to like your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Like even in your 40s and 50s, you're like, I kind of know how to do like pretty much like anything I'm called upon to do at this point.
Sure hope so. Do you know now what the root is why you weren't letting yourself live in Venice? Or did you just have a more like general realization that you had not given yourself permission to do it?
I think we're all on a journey and we come to our moment when we come to it. And a friend said to me, you at 35 in Venice would have been very different than you at 55. And I agree with that. I'm happy I'm living with my partner. It's a good age for my younger daughter who's 16 to be here. We have 2 adult children between the 2 of us, so it's like they're not always here. It's kind of good timing, but I also think that the beach, which I've been connected to, I grew up in Rhode Island on the beach. So I think the beach has been speaking to me my whole life. I just haven't been listening. Now I listen.
Interesting.
Now I'm like, oh, I just started 4 days ago a 30-day beach challenge where I will go in the water every day for 30 days and experience what it feels like when I don't want to go in. I live 1 block from the beach, so it's not logistically challenging at all. But some days the
Hmm.
waves are really big.
Hmm.
And I'm equating it to like anything we do. I believe if you can do something for 30 days, you can do anything for 30 days. And, I'm sober. So, like, the first 30 days of getting sober were critical. I mean, I think it's important with writing. If you could write for 30 straight days, you could write for 3 months straight. And so I'm pushing myself to finish this book and get it out in the next month. So I'm doing this 30-day ocean swim. So I'm
I
already
love
on
that.
I'm on day 4, and I'm already like, the first 3 days it was first thing in the morning, and then today it was like my partner was like, well, I could do it at 4 o'clock, and I'm already like, oh god, I hope I do it at 4 o'clock, because I can see myself going, oh, it's cold,
Yeah,
oh, it's uncomfortable, oh, I don't want to, and it's like, yes, you have to
I know.
go.
I think with anything, the later you wait in the day, the more time you have yourself to psych yourself
Hmm.
out about it.
Right.
I completely understand all of these impulses, and it's so funny. So I recently just went a couple of months without drinking at all, and I loved it. I loved the way I felt. I
Congratulations.
loved
Yeah.
everything. Like I slept through the night for the first time in my adult life, and
Oh
I
my
continue to,
god.
which is wild. Like imagine what not sleeping, like I probably only got maybe 3 hours of actual sleep every night for 25 years.
Wow.
And it's just hard to function like that. Like everything is a grind, even when you're like consciously not trying to make life a grind. It's just difficult when you're not getting sleep. I think like parents with young children know this. Like there's always these moments
Hmm.
in life. And for me, I think it was just 2 decades of like hormones sort of getting more and more out of balance as like stresses grew greater. My ability to cope with those stresses also grew. And I feel like I've learned a lot, but it doesn't change the physicality of it. Like if your
Yeah.
body is experiencing living constantly in fight mode or flight mode, for me, it was definitely fight mode, then it throws everything off of balance. So all the breath work in the world is like not going to help me. So I
Right.
did a full like hormonal reset diet, which involved, of course, like no alcohol and limiting caffeine and very little sugar, all these things. Really, it's just like extremely clean eating and cutting out anything that could be a hormone disruptor. And it felt amazing. But it was like the first 2 days, I was so pumped on my own to do it. And then after
Yep.
that, I was like, okay, no sugar at all in your body is like such a real thing.
Yes.
I was like,
Hmm.
9 a.m., I'm totally fine. Noon, great. I don't need any sugar. By
5
5 p.m., I
p.m.
was like, so help me if I don't get a Snickers bar. Like, and we just have to power through. I was like, at this point, it's just mind over matter. Like
It's mind
it's
over
gonna be
matter.
there, and I'm either gonna eat the sugar or I'm not. But I'm never gonna get to 30 days unless I just don't,
That's right.
like
That's
just don't
right.
do the thing. And then after a couple of days of that, I was like, this is easy peasy and I love it. And I kept feeling so much better with each day that I was like, I don't want to throw
Right.
this off.
Away. Right.
Yeah.
I've done the 30 days with no sugar. It's like a thing for sure. Someone told me I was going to be emotional and all this. I wasn't. I just didn't eat
Mm-mm.
sugar for 30 days. I'm vegetarian and gluten free. The gluten free thing came really after I literally tried everything in my life, but not eating bread. I love bread. And I love cookies and brownies and the whole thing. And I also didn't want to be, this is like another permission thing, right? I didn't want to be that woman who is like gluten free and vegetarian. Like I've lived so much of my life trying to make you happy. So and compromising myself to like make
Yeah.
you not be in like, so I'm not that woman for you. And I'm like, okay, you're not the one trying to like, that's constipated for a week. Right. So I became gluten free. I became vegetarian for very moral reasons and physical, but moral more. And I love it. And nobody in my world is like a jerk about it. Like my partner's like vegetarian too, and he always goes out. He doesn't care if we have to get gluten free pizza and like all this kind of stuff. And I see the benefits for me of like better sleep, like better mood. Because you're right, the hormone thing is next level. I mean, I don't even want to get into what I've been through this year with that and how angry I am and like how many op-eds I've written to the New York Times that are not getting published and like how many pieces are coming out about menopause and perimenopause in women and like the lack of data and the lack of information we have in this country about women's midlife bodies. We're treated cookie cutter. Insurance companies don't give a shit. They just like blanket medicate. And women are having, like my experience in January, where I hemorrhaged and ended up in the ICU, no conclusion, no conclusion except that I got off the progesterone and the estrogen. And so, like, we're literally in a figure it out ourselves model.
Yeah.
So, you getting off alcohol, like my naturopath, who I finally had to go to for the like HRT like solution, since I couldn't get on the patch or the pill anymore because I'm not going to get hospitalized again. She said women drinking alcohol in perimenopause and menopause is like one of the worst things they could be doing. It just skews your hormones all over the place. And she said what women are being fed by the marketing about wine. It's like, oh, you feel bad, have a glass of wine. Oh, you had a rough day with the kids, have a glass of wine. Mommy and wine club, mommy and books and wine club. And it's just screwing with women, and they're being sold drink more, drink more, drink more. And that's why you feel better. That's why I feel amazing. I haven't had a drop of alcohol for 11 years and it feels incredible.
Yeah. I mean, really at the root of alcohol, it's sugar as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think any amount of cutting out sugar, and also like, I mean, I will eat everything except for blue cheese because it's disgusting. And I think no one should consume it, especially not in my presence. But I'm not, I try to be mindful, like from a sustainability and like eco impact of meat consumption, or at the very least, like where the food I'm eating comes from. But I'm not like insane about it. Like I'll eat fast food sometime. Like everything
Right.
is in moderation, and I don't think anyone's perfect with any of those things. But even if you're not ready to like cut out alcohol, like I had wine last night, but I'm not drinking like a whole bottle of wine, which I easily could have
Right.
done a year ago. Or like I'm trying to just be cognizant of it. And also, it's giving myself permission. Like I am so judgy. I don't need anyone else to judge me. I judge
That's
myself
right.
just fine.
That's
And
right.
it's like, I'll
That's
pour a
right.
glass of wine because that's what I want. And then immediately I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you having this glass
Mhm.
of wine? It's empty calorie. Like it's just a constant loop. And then I'm like, well, now you just took all of the fun out of this glass of wine. So what are we doing here? Like either enjoy it and know that it's fine. And you don't
Right.
need to follow it up with 7 more glasses, or don't if you're going to make yourself like, if you genuinely don't feel bad about it. But like the decision is mine and how I feel about it is mine. And so that's kind of the piece that I'm playing with, but it's very difficult with, I mean,
Hmm.
sugar addiction, any addiction is like a very real thing to try and combat. And so for me,
Yeah.
it's like my body has become accustomed to having sugar at like 5 p.m., whether it's in the form of
Yeah.
a glass of wine or replacing that with a bowl of fruit, like something. And so now I'm like, do I want to change that? Do I want to be done with it?
Right.
How do I
Right.
go back to a life where I can just like eat normal foods and feel good without
Right.
being so strict?
We'll get
Anyway,
there.
to your
You will
point with
you will
the
get there.
hormones, yeah, I know. And it's, I mean, I
You
also have fun
will.
with the game. It's like,
Yeah. It's
I like
like,
to
yeah,
challenge myself.
and you could do
So
that
it's
for a little
interesting.
while. I mean, it's interesting when you talked about judging yourself. So in the permission keys, judging yourself comes under permission to not to let go of shame.
Yeah.
Judging is shame. It just is. It's either deeply embedded shame from a very long time ago that is subconsciously playing still a loop. It's shame that's conscious that you've picked up that you it's not you're we're so not it's so in us as women in general. We've been shamed and we self-shame so much. But I look at judgment as like a form of shame, and it's like the fact that you are giving yourself courage to identify it and to say how you feel to the mind that's trying to shame you is the whole game. The fact that you're going, wait, I don't understand. Like what you just did was perfect. I just poured a glass of wine that I want to enjoy.
Yeah.
That you you mind have been a part of, by the way. We picked up the bottle. We like you functioned with me, and now that you functioned with me in that choice, now you're going to try to tell me that was a bad choice, right? And you have the courage to be like, I don't like how that feels. I don't like that I've poured myself this lovely glass of wine. I just went 2 months without drinking. I feel really good. I've had lots of observations, and now I'm going to have a glass of wine. The more that you like identify that process and the more that you speak out to that process and then you love yourself like conditionally for having that process, I can guarantee you in like a very short period of time, you will no longer have that process. You will just pour the glass of wine and
Or
you
not.
won't have or not or you and you eventually will be so in an inner knowing with yourself that you'll be on a
Yeah.
like a saccadic rhythm with how you want to enjoy life. Because when it comes down to it, it's like we're just trying to live on this planet and enjoy life. And like to have to pick apart every single thing we do, every single hour of every single day is not enjoying life. It's like
Yeah.
exhausting and laborious, to
Yeah.
have to
It's way too much
overthink.
work.
It's way too much work to have to overthink everything. And like for me, with the whole like menopausal thing, I was trying to do HRT to stave off osteoporosis and Alzheimer's. I don't even have bad menopause. I don't even have hot flashes. I sleep great through the night. My brain fog is meh, probably not as bad as most people. It can be bad. So I was doing preventative for the future. Like I want to live a nice long life. So for it to backfire on me was upsetting because now I'm dumped with no solution on how to fix long-term potential osteoporosis that's happening to so many women that we haven't been given the hormones we needed soon enough, right? So I'm a little bit upset and don't have a solution yet for how that's going to work, I guess, until I have a problem. And then it's a rheumatoid doctor, right? Or not a rheumatoid. What do they call them?
Osteopath? No.
Is it
What
an
is a bone
osteopath?
doctor? I thought they were osteopaths. Rheumatoid is like arthritis.
Yeah, so there's like a rheuma something doctor, but I don't want to get to that point. I want to be like preventative. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I would like to
that
get
can
to
be
a point
very
where
concerned.
women are educated on their bodies from an
Hmm.
early enough age and where we
Hmm.
pass down generational information. Like I'm 44. My mom just turned 70. I have no idea when she went through menopause because she's never said a word about it. It's like not
Hmm.
something you talk about. And she would have no idea when her mom did because they never, like, you couldn't even ask. And I'm not sure, like, my mom's not comfortable having those conversations really. And so then how am I supposed to, like, I don't know what to expect, even if it is like, I'm on my own journey. It's also like I don't have girlfriends who I can ask other than what is your current experience today and what have you learned so far?
Right,
But there
right.
isn't like this wealth of generational knowledge about our experience that's being passed down. There certainly is not the medical research, as you already mentioned. And it doesn't seem like there's fix isn't the thing, but like there has to be a way that we get enough information so that we can make decisions about our own bodies to move forward.
Right,
I'm like
right,
so wary of most Western medicine that if someone was like, you need to be on hormone replacement therapy, I'd be like, no.
right. And I
It's
used
like,
to be
I don't
like
even
that.
know if I need to, but I don't trust it because it just feels like over medication. And like, you don't know me. You haven't asked me about my experience. Or there's
That's
like
the
so many
problem.
symptoms that they don't understand how they go together.
Well,
Like
that's the
weight
problem. I
gain or
mean,
my hair falling
yep,
out or
yep.
stress, and it's like, well, it could be stress or it could be hormones. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Everything in life could be stress or
Right,
hormones.
right. It's one or the other. But I mean, that's the whole point is like these doctors, these OBGYNs, these gynecologists, they have 15 minutes on the calendar with you and they don't have time to go into your history. It's breasts and pelvic. I mean, I just interviewed this gynecologist about this who really talked a lot about the data. And what she was saying was she was saying that there are a lot of doctors that are getting on like social media that are starting to, women doctors that are starting to talk about what we need and the research that we need, and we need so much more research so that we push the insurance companies to go into places where we can get more specialized care versus just like the patch and the pill. That you should be scared. It fucked me up. So like some people it doesn't screw up, but it really screwed me up. So I am never getting on a patch and pill again. And that's the end of the road for me because that's all my gynecologist can refer me through the insurance system, which is now I'm going to a naturopath out of pocket
Mm-hmm.
to get testosterone, which never would have been suggested by the insurance company because they don't want to do innovative things, right? And the testosterone, I feel great. So it's a very strange road. And I want to go to what you're saying about your mom. I am I don't have like a relationship with my mom at the moment, but like I remember in her 40s, because I'm reflecting back now, because now I feel like a lot of compassion for my mom in her 50s. Now that I'm in my 50s, is like I understand why she was like in brain fog. Like I get it now, right? They didn't know what was wrong with them. They didn't know what was wrong with them. And I remember her talking about like in her 40s trying to get like going to all these specialists and all these masseuses and all these people for like a frozen shoulder.
Mm.
Well, like that's a menopause symptom is a frozen shoulder. And lately I've been doing yoga and I'm like, oh my God, I have a
You're like, is
frozen
it
shoulder.
happening?
Oh
I
my
see. I've
God.
never heard this. I didn't know
Oh
that's a
yeah.
symptom. It hasn't happened, but now I'm going to be like doing
Well,
all the
it's
shoulder
the
stretches.
it's the joints.
Yeah.
That's the thing is our joints and muscles are we're losing bone and muscle mass every day. Every day. So if you're not doing strength training and you're not doing things to build those like muscles and bones, and I mean, some of it you can't fight. I mean, it might just be hereditary or something. So my mom, now that I think about her telling, I'm like, oh wow, I have like almost. So now I'm like working with it when I go to yoga. I'm not doing like 17 vipasanas. I'm doing like I'm doing like the modified version, right? But it would be nice for us to have that connection from our mothers to us to our daughters. And it's really funny because like our daughters, I mean, you have younger children too, as like a step parent. And I know like I have younger daughters who don't really want to hear about menopause from me right now. They're 16 and
Yeah.
20. They're like, what? They're just barely trying to get through their own hormonal shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're in the first phases of it. That's also such a overwhelming ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
My oldest is trans. When she started taking estrogen as a 20-year-old, I believe, that was a wild ride. That was like it was
Wow.
like not what's the first part of menopause?
Right, right.
I was like, I don't have brain fog going like a teenager, like starting a period for the first time, like receiving all of a sudden this influx of like new hormones and seeing how debilitating and like destabilizing that sudden change can be. And thank goodness, like we have great health insurance and UCLA has an awesome gender health department. And so she worked with the hormone specialist and their whole team to manage that transition. But the first couple of months, I was like, whoa, this is no joke.
Oh my God. What a story to be
Yeah.
firsthand with that. That's pretty
Yeah. And I
amazing.
think when your kids get to the age of 20, you're kind of thinking like, okay, now we're just gonna coast into adulthood. Things are gonna be chill. But we really kicked it up a notch in this house. So,
Wow.
but
Wow.
now like with anything, if it's managed properly and you have enough education and all of those things, you can sort
Hmm.
of get to that equilibrium that feels really nice. And we're definitely there now, which is wonderful. And I can't say enough good things about the team at UCLA.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that I also understand how fortunate we are to be in California and to have access to that kind of healthcare is a game
Hmm.
changer, at least for our
Hmm.
family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, and I mean, so like think about all these things we're navigating and like we're talking about that we're doing every day as women that we're taking on and we're facing. And then on top of it, we need to run our businesses. And it's a tough time right now. I was just having this conversation with another sort of story coach who does like branding and marketing. And she's just like, her business is just like silent. I mean,
Oh no.
emails that would have gone out that would have been like summer sale would have gotten some bites. I could see the writing on the wall with that a couple months ago. I could start feeling it. I've been in my own business for 11 years. I've been a successful book coach. And what's carrying me through this year right now are a couple things. One is I have a couple repeat clients that are very loyal who have employed my ghostwriting services, which is a gift. It's a gift when you have loyal people that are repeat customers, because what I feel is happening is that people are so scared. People are so scared of what's going to happen in this country financially that they've gone very internal. They're holding on to every dime they have. And you can talk on this owning a shop, but it's like I've taken for now the concept of coach out of my wheelhouse for my business. And I'm leaning more into what I've been doing for 30 years, which I've been writing. And the fact that I am a highly accomplished writer who's been published, continues to be published, and is not scared of writing, knows how to write, knows how to lean in. That's the service I'm offering people. It's not so much coaching, but it's like, come on in. I know you're nervous. Let's collaborate. Let's get this done. If you don't want to write it yourself, I can write it for you. But let's figure out what it is you want to write. Let's outline it. Let's get it down and let's get this going, because people still want to write their books, but they're scared to invest in certain aspects. So they just want to get them written and then they want to get them published. But the whole coaching and that whole thing seems to people, I think, in their minds like an accessory purchase.
Mm.
So I'm kind of taking that accessory purchase out and saying, let's just focus on the fact that I am like a great writer. This is all I've done my whole life. I've never done anything else. And I can be on your team.
I love that.
And that's
And
the
you
sales
have,
pitch. That's the sales pitch.
yeah,
That's it. That's the sale. That's it. That's the sales pitch. It's like,
you don't
that's
even
it.
need
No,
a sales pitch.
what's the pitch? Just come, let's do it. You know, it's like, you like my personality. I have successful
I,
clients. Let's go. Who do you want to
yeah,
spend time with? That's really what it comes down to. Who do you want to, you know, and I too, like, I'm now very like, who do I want to spend time with? Because I got to spend a lot of time with people when they tell their story.
oh yeah, you definitely want to make sure that that's a personality match on both sides. I think I agree with what you're saying. As a small business owner, we definitely have days where it's just super slow. It's super quiet. I mean, even on the organizing side, organizing is a luxury service.
Mhm.
And we've had months where I'm like, wow, it's the slowest month we've had in the 9 years that we've been in business. And then the next
Mhm.
month will surprise me. And it's like, okay, I guess people aren't worried. I don't know. There doesn't seem
Right.
it, but all of that creates the worry inside the business owner, right? It's the
That's right.
instability, it's not knowing what to expect next. I'm at a place where I have to renew the lease on my shop. And that's terrifying to me. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know what the next 5 years holds, not for my family, not for me as a person, and certainly not for the economy. And it's not like rent is cheap in Los Angeles. And of course,
Right.
at a lease renewal, they're going to take that opportunity to raise your rent. So
Mhm.
there's so many pieces, and it's very difficult. And this is one of the times where I journal about this every morning, as I will continue to do until I feel like I have received the sign that feels like the right sign.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
And it's hard because a lot of it is, if I don't have a shop, will I still have a place in this community? Which is a very
Mhm.
interesting and loaded question.
Mhm.
And what does that look like? Do I care? Is it worth me spending thousands of dollars a month for this like imaginary place in community? I mean, a part of it is real, right? Like the nonprofit piece, that's real. People need a place to bring their donations to us. We physically need a place to source them. So without the retail space, I don't see how that could continue. And then this is where I go down the rabbit hole, because then I'm like, then we wouldn't have the clothing swap closet. And that's how we provide free clothing to people in need throughout Los Angeles. And then it's like, I go farther down, and then I'm like, yes, I need to have a physical space. So let's
Right.
stay put. And then I'm
Right.
like, but it's so much money.
Right, right, right. And it's like when you have all those like questions, and a lot of them come down to like financial, right? Because it always does. Like, what do I cut out? What do I and then we start to get into the scarcity mindset, right? Instead of the
Yeah.
abundance mindset, right? And everything you're saying is just like based on fear of failure, right? I'm going to make the wrong decision. I'm going to fail. This is going to be a crazy mess. I'm going to sign this 5-year deal. We're going to go into like bankruptcy. No one's going to ever come into the store again. I made the biggest mistake. And then you're going to beat yourself up for whatever decision you make. Where if you get like really quiet and really confident, the decision's probably already there. You just need to just decide, and then get rid of the word failure. Just get rid of it, because nothing would be a failure any way that you did something, any way that
Yeah.
you did something, you
I don't even
know?
think that it's failure. I think for me, it truly is the community piece of it, which is the only reason we have the store. The store is not going to fail. We have a service business that will
Mm-hmm.
support that forever. So it's not even truly that side of it. It's more like, what impact, like what role does me physically having this space have
Right.
on my ability to be a part of the community, like the ability to invite community, and how important is that piece to me as a human right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh
Mm-hmm.
for
How
full
happy does that make
context,
you?
I'm also starting a PhD program in 2 weeks,
Oh
and
my
that's
God.
a whole other set of work, right? So all of these things play into my mind, where I'm like, right now community is so important to me. It's at the front of my mind because it's like all I'm doing every day. But very soon those priorities will shift, and I will be in a more isolated but still enjoyable path through life, where I'm doing my own
Mm-hmm.
research and I'm in my own thing. So that
Right.
also plays into it. Like, can I have
Right.
both? Do I want both at the same time?
Right.
How
Right.
long do I want to
Right.
sustain that? Like, I also don't
Right.
want to go too isolated and be like, no community, only research, independent. So
Right. Right. Right.
this is the morning journaling.
This is the morning
Uh,
journaling. Right.
yeah,
Right. 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 Well, at some point though,
it's all fun.
you can make a decision and just stop worrying about it and just say yes, and then just
It's the
see
beauty of
what
a timeline.
happens.
I have until
Right.
August 31st.
You have until August 31st. Nice. Well, today's the 13th, so you just swap those. So like I would
I'll
say
just keep it going until then.
then you get up that day. How long is the lease?
I mean, we can do whatever. The landlords are pretty chill, like they're happy to have me there. I'm happy to be there. I could choose anything, like a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I'm not going to, 10 years is too long.
Oh my God, that sounds like the decision's already there. 1 year, just boom, stop thinking about it and just sign it 1 year and then figure it out from there. Because if you don't know by August 31st, you are going to be so stressed out that you don't know. And that is too much of a crunch. That's 2 weeks to try to figure out the outcome of something that
It's a
you
long
can't
time.
figure out. You can't figure out the outcome in 2 weeks.
I think the universe will sort it out. The decision will arrive. They
I,
always do. I mean, at least in my experience, there's probably loads of people who cannot easily make a decision. I tend not to be one of those people. But
right.
I don't need to rush it, so I'm not going to. But I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like, sometimes you just get that whole body yes or no.
Yeah.
And you're like, this
Right.
is absolutely not for me.
Right.
And I mean, also, what a blessing to be in a place where I feel confident that no matter what decision I make, it will be a beautiful one.
Oh my
Like,
God, that's
and
amazing.
all of them are going to come with a sadness and a joy. And
Mm.
I already know
Mm.
that. So it's like, here we are, folks. If I close the business, that's a sadness to me. Like, this is my baby. This is what I created. Not the whole business, but like only the physical retail space. And if I keep it going, it's a different sadness. That's a lot of work for me. It's a lot of ongoing stress and employment and taxes and insurance and blah, blah, all the things.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
it comes with the joy of strangers wandering in and telling me their stories, or hosting people like you and your beautiful panels and the community that we get to build together. That's such a treat.
No, it's really, really true. No, it's a beautiful space that you have there. It's just like what you have in that beautiful space might have another version that's just waiting, right? For you to open the door to it, right? And sometimes we
It's
limit
on a
ourselves.
farm in the Hudson Valley. I don't know.
Ooh, oh,
Maybe it involves
oh.
goats.
Do you want
Composed
to go?
farming.
Do you
I'm
want to go?
very into it.
I've been thinking about the Adirondacks a lot lately. I don't know why. They just started popping in my mind, and I was like, I need to go to
Like,
the Adirondacks. I
yeah,
need to go to the Adirondacks. I need to be in
I
peace and
know.
quiet. I told my partner, I said, I think you need to understand. I've been in this city for 20 something years, and I love that we're in Venice. This is my place. I'm happy. This is bucket list. We have a 2-year lease here. I said, but at some point, I need to go to someplace that's quiet, not just for the weekend, all the time. I've
Yeah.
never lived there in that situation since I left home at 17. It's always been Boston and New York and this and there's a thing and thing. Like, I just want to go someplace. Right. So he's like, oh, a month in Joshua Tree. And we could do it. I'm like, a month? Yes, I get it. Because I think that when you've never lived in silence, and you've never lived in that level of quiet, you don't understand like the beauty of that level of quiet. You think you need to be constantly stimulated, or you're not like, I'm not speaking for him, I'm saying I don't even know for me what that would be like to be in rolling hills and my neighbors down the road on like some shell driveway, you know what I mean, like trees all around. And I grew up with that. So I think that there's a little bit of fear that that felt as a child, very like freeing, but also very like isolating. But I'm also
Mm.
not that child anymore. I'm now like a grown woman who's gone through all my evolutions. And I would like some quiet.
I'm a very introverted person and I recharge in solitude and I love silence. It was probably the most difficult thing for me to go through was the last 2 years, really since we moved into this house in Woodland Hills, to never be alone. Like there
Mm.
was all my daughter lived here and she had a partner who, because of a disability, like rarely left the house.
Oh, wow.
And so, and they both lived here, to be clear. So even when it sounded like I was at home alone, there was always someone here. And that weighed on my soul in such a heavy way. Like I
Yeah.
can't even describe. I'm sure someone is listening to me and they're like, who cares? Like, so there was someone in your house. Like, you don't understand. I don't feel like a
Right, right, right.
recharged human until I am alone. And so to never have that feeling for 2 years, like never to feel comfortable walking, like I could never just walk downstairs naked. Not that this is like my life's ambition, but
Oh, but that's
I
so
also don't like to be
important.
limited.
Right.
Or like you're sitting and journaling and then you're like, but there's someone here. Like there's always, always,
Right.
always a presence. And I did not realize, I think I realized after a while, like how heavy that was on me and how overstimulated I felt constantly. And I became like obsessed with the idea of buying a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
truly what I want. Like I know myself enough to know that I would be quite freaked out if I was at home alone and I like couldn't see any neighbors.
Right.
So maybe not like that big of an expanse of land, but I really was needing on such a deep, deep, deep level to just be left the F alone. And now the kids are back in school. My daughter and her partner have moved out. Chad works out of the house in his actual office 2 days a week. And for those days, I'm like, I'm back, baby. Like, I'm just like, do what I want. I like sit on every couch, like every chair. I move all around the house. Like I go outside. It's just like it feels so freeing to me. And I feel my happiness coming back. I feel like my ability to make just everything. Everything feels
Mhm.
so back to how it used to be. And it's glorious. So I fully
Yeah.
understand, like, it really resets you to just give in to what your body is craving and go experience that for a while. Silence is powerful,
It
like
is
very
powerful.
powerful.
It is powerful. And what I'm accepting right now is I hear the ocean crashing all day long. I have a rooftop that looks over the Venice Pier. I go up there. I see the ocean 4 or 5 times a day. I walk on the ocean. I run on the ocean. I bike on the ocean. I swim in the ocean. I breathe the ocean. I smell the ocean. And I constantly hear the ocean. And I've only been here 43 days and I've changed cellularly. I am not the same person I was 43
Yeah.
days ago. There is no way. The ocean, the nature, the sound, being on the edge of the earth in that way, the understanding of what we are as humans on this planet is affecting me in such a deep way that none of the shit I would have worried about 43 days ago am I worrying about it. I'm like, you know what? Like,
Mhm.
we really, I mean, I'm
I know.
interested
It's
in
so
everything.
purifying.
I'm interested in everything that has to do with sand and sea and tides and tide pools. I'm out there talking to the lifeguards. I mean, I am really curious. I'm really curious. I mean, I'm also going to write a fiction book about Venice Beach and lifeguards. I've decided in just 43 days.
I love
That's my
that.
next. That's going to be my next career. I've said it here. I've said it now.
A
I'm
beach
going to have
novelist.
a million books sold. You heard it here for the first time.
I love it. I will be the first one to buy it. I love everything to do with the beach, including fictional stories about lifeguards. Lately, I feel like so we have a little free library in our front yard,
I love
and I feel
those.
like whatever people bring me is what the universe wants me to read. And somehow I went on this string of Elin Hildebrand, like all the Nantucket beach novels.
Oh,
I was like, maybe Nantucket's my place. I don't know. I've never been there. But I just love all the stories. It's like they're all just stories of families going to the beach, like the love stories that happen with the beach as the background. And
yep,
that to me
yep,
is like,
yep, yep,
I'm
yep.
also a little cancer crab. And I mean, the beach is my happy place for sure. It's hard. It's hard to remember when you live on this side of the Santa Monica Mountains. It's hard to remember that the ocean is only like 20 minutes away and that we could truly be there every day.
Hmm.
But every time you see it, like what a magnificent feeling.
I
I
know,
actually
I
remember
know.
taking my stepmom, her nephew lived in Ohio and was coming out here to go to USC for film school. And he came and stayed with us for a few days. I was like, of course, I'll show him around, whatever. He could stay with us until we drop him off at school. And CSUN, sorry, not USC. And we took him to the beach in front of Gladstone's. And he was like, what do I do with it? I was like, have you never seen the beach before? He's like, no, I've never been to the beach. I was like, what? This blows my mind. Like, that's a truly spoiled California girl. I was like, how have you not seen an ocean? I was like, oh, yeah, all the middle states don't have one, which, regardless of politics, is probably the worst reason to live in a middle state. I can't
Right.
imagine not having an ocean to be like your sort of centering, grounding. I'm such a small speck in the universe. Look at how beautiful the natural world around me is, kind of way.
That's
And I
right.
was like, what do you mean? What do you do with it? I don't know. You marvel at it. You put your feet in it. You play with it. Get in
Right.
there.
Right. Right. It's
So we
so
had to go buy
true.
him some swim trunks and we're like under the
Ah,
waves. It was like watching a small child in an adult body, like kind of be tumbled around and be so like wondrous. So I was like, oh, it's so fun.
oh my God. Oh my God. What is the Nantucket? You'll have to email me this Nantucket Beach series. I don't know who that is. I love that
I
it's your
think she
autobiography.
has written like 40 books and they're all based in Nantucket. She's like a Nantucket local. And all
Oh,
of her, they're just like these
wow.
wonderful stories of life. Some of them are love
Yeah.
stories, some of them are more like mysterious, but they're great. Easy peasy
Oh
reads,
my
very well
God.
written. But yeah, they keep showing up. So someone here must be like obsessed
Recycling
with this
them.
series.
And
And I'm like,
I
great,
love it.
keep them
So
coming.
we have a little library in Venice. My column was just about this 2 columns ago, about how I came here with a box of books and realized I don't want this box of books anymore. All really good books. And I started filling the little library. And every day I'd go and the library would be empty.
Isn't that
And so
wonderful?
then I got on Reddit and found out people do resell books. So then I started getting worried that someone was reselling them. But then there were a couple books that stayed for a really long time. So then I got the notion, oh, I'm going to put my sexual abuse book in there because that's better
Free advertising.
distribution. That's better distribution than my publisher's doing. So I put one in and it disappeared. And the next
Wow.
day I put two more in and they disappeared.
Amazing.
So
So
three
either
people that
someone is
never
selling
had
them,
my
which still benefits you,
that's
or
still been
you've just helped three strangers overcome the impact of their abuse.
exactly.
I
Isn't
love
that
it. There's no
amazing?
bad outcome.
There's no bad outcome. I mean, I think putting that energy out there too of an author on Venice Beach and putting it in a little library, actually,
Yeah.
I could feel myself getting more confidence as an author.
Oh, love. People leave me little gifts too. It's really sweet. They'll do like
What did
little
I leave
painted
you?
rocks or like leave a little flower, like a little treat. It's so sweet.
No, that's so sweet. Do people like I wanted to put a
Yeah.
cam? You
Yeah.
do?
People, if I'm out there, they'll be like, "Is this your house?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, thank you so much for doing this. We just love it. We come here every week."
What?
Um, yeah, it's so sweet because there's an app like if you could do it just on your own and it doesn't need to be a part of a thing. But the actual company is called Little Free Library, and so they
Yeah.
provide you with like a little license plate
Plaque.
essentially.
Oh,
A
yeah,
plaque is a
yeah.
better word than
Yeah.
license plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can register it on the app. And so people who, it's probably the same people who like love the public library, love these little nooks. And so they just look them up on the app for whatever neighborhood they're in and they go drop stuff off. And then you learn people have specialties, like they curate their little free library. I'm not that. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's a
Oh,
free
you're
for all
like
for everyone.
whatever.
Everyone is
Right,
welcome
right.
here.
Right, right,
But there's
right.
like a children's specialist or like this one's only true crime, like that kind of a vibe. So it's pretty fun.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. It's been so
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, no, I love going down. Now that I've given away this entire box of books, I'm like, wow, I should have paced myself. Now I have no more books to give away and I'm sad. But then I'm thinking too, like, well, when I read a book and I'm done with it, I don't want to put books on my shelf.
Yeah.
I'll just say this, and I know we're out of time, but when we moved into this place, it was fully furnished. So we could only bring a couple things. So I gave away everything I own and my partner gave away everything he owns. So after this 2 year lease is up, we don't own anything.
You're free. Free birds. How did that feel?
Oh, I'm not attached to stuff. So it felt amazing.
And did he have a hard time?
Not
Neither of
really.
you. Amazing.
No, he gave away like a whole downtown apartment of stuff to like 1-800 junk. And I actually did a lot on Buy Nothing.
I love Buy Nothing. That's another great community too.
Yeah,
If you're not already in it, get on Facebook, type in Buy Nothing and your local community. Mine is like Woodland Hills North or something like that. But it's
yeah,
so
it's really
fun.
good. So
And talk
fun.
about community, like you get to meet your neighbors that
You
way.
never know who you meet that way. It's so
Yeah.
fantastic. It's so
I know I've
true.
met some of my closest friends, I think, now through that community.
Wow.
Um, and people you otherwise like would never meet. If they live 10 blocks
Right.
away, the chances of me like crossing paths with them if we're walking our
Right.
dogs or whatever is quite small. Or even if you do cross paths, the likelihood that you will engage in conversation is quite small.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I get the sweetest notes too from my Buy Nothing community. People, they'll like come to pick up stuff because we through the nonprofit that's like we donate a lot of stuff through Buy Nothing, the things that we can't place with charities or with families. just to make sure it stays in circulation and doesn't go to waste. So I get to see the same people over and over again, or they see
Oh
me
my
regularly.
God.
And they're
Oh my
always like, why do you have
God.
so much stuff? I'm like, none of this is mine.
I love
Like, I can't possibly have like a walker and a stroller. Like, what kind of a house do you think I'm living in? Or like, how many dog crates? Like, it's just
it.
hilarious. So
That's
I always have to
amazing.
explain, like, actually, none of it is ours. We're just trying to do our part.
I love it.
Oh, man.
I love it. I
Anyway,
love it.
so nice to chat with you, as always. I can't wait to read the Lifeguard series when that comes out. I will send you the Elin Hildebrand information. And
Yes,
I
please
would
do.
love to do another permission panel later this
I
year
would
if you're
love
up for it.
to. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah, you'll let me know if you kept your lease.
Yep. Everyone, the whole world will find out together. We'll either be there or we won't.
And then we'll celebrate by me bringing a panel there for sure.
Awesome. That sounds perfect. And for anybody who does not need an author coach, but does want a beautiful partner to help them get their book down on paper, what's the best way for people to find you?
KimO'Hara.com is my website, which talks
Okay.
about my book roadmap intensive, which is what a lot of people choose to do as a service to get that book out of them and get that outline down in a short period of time, couple months. You can also follow me on my column, which is I give you permission.substack.com. And those
Awesome.
are really the best ways. I mean, I'm on social media, Kim O'Hara Coach on Instagram. You can always slide into my DMs.
I love that. I hope that's still a thing. So sassy.
Slide into my DM.
Well, thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been just so much fun. I love these types of podcasts where we just riff. Just
Same,
riff. Just riff.
same.